I'm here with Adrian of At the Gates to talk about the new record, The Ghost of Future Death. It comes out April 24th on Century Media Records. First of all, thank you very much for finding time to speak with me about the album. This is an important, I mean, every record is an important one, but I feel like this one comes a little bit more emotionally charged. And that emotional aspect that this record brings to the table, did it make making the album more difficult?
Obviously, we didn't know that. Oh, thanks for having me, by the way.
Oh, it's my pleasure. My pleasure.
Yeah. Obviously, we didn't know that Thomas was sick when we started writing the album. It was only towards as we were getting closer to going in the studio that he actually got his diagnosis. And then, of course, uh, everything after that was like really supercharged, not very uncertain at the same time because like you get a diagnosis like that, how are you going to take it? It's not going to be good, is it?
Yeah.
And but Thomas was positive, and that rubbed off on us. So you know, um, there's a lot of emotions involved. Particularly for myself, when I recorded I started the drums in Studio Bogran. Uh, I believe like a couple of days prior to him having the surgery. So he had the surgery during the time I was doing the drums. So yeah, as you can imagine, it was pretty charged
Yeah, yeah.
situation.
Did it ever cross your mind that this record may never come out? Like this record may have never existed?
I mean, uh, that's a tough one. I would say that all along we had like a positive outlook, and Thomas wanted to wait to see because the plan all along actually was that we were gonna come back, like go silent on social media because he didn't want to speak about being ill, um, and have to answer interviews and stuff about being ill. He wanted to focus his energy on getting better, and then the idea was that the album was going to come out and we were going to play gigs, and that was his wish all along. Now, when it came to it, obviously he didn't recover, and he realized that he probably will never sing. That's why when the statement came out about him being ill. Sorry, I lost the question.
No, no. In terms of if during that
Yeah.
whole process, did you guys ever thought, okay, maybe let's just scrap this and not
No,
just leave it alone?
no, no, that was never an option. We felt like we had a strong album, and after Thomas' diagnosis, on the other hand, it became like a stronger vibe that we have to finish it. That it's. But we never considered that he's going to pass away. That was never something we even talked about. It was just like we'll get through this because his doctors the whole time said, it's a major surgery, but like a very high success rate in cure in getting cured. So we were all along very positive, but of course, you put we always you always put all you got into it, but like it becomes more looking back at it, it became more emotionally charged, I would say.
Yeah, I think it became more of a pressing matter in terms of um, of doing this, not just for yourselves, for him, for everybody. I could assume
Yeah,
that became the big driving force versus
yeah,
previous records, where it's more about the creative process and there's other
yeah.
things going through. Now, from a creative standpoint, was this record any different for you?
Um, Obviously, Anders had rejoined the band a year and a half or so earlier. So the writing process was slightly different in that he and Jonas wrote the music together. Some songs they wrote individually, but the whole collaboration was between the Björle twins and Tompa writing it. And
The beer.
um,
Twins.
Yeah, so I mean, there was like a before Thomas got the diagnosis, there was a really hungry vibe in like, oh great, Anders is back. We're gonna like really slam it down on this one, you know. So like there was a good vibe, and I think even even after Tompa getting sick, it was like, you know, it felt like some not a comeback record, but like return to some sort of more complete version of the band, because you know Anders leaving the band was I still like those albums, but you know we missed him during the time he wasn't in the band, so it was special from that aspect as well. Yeah.
When you look at this record, is does this album for some in some way encapsulates what the legacy of the band has been, or do you see this as a standalone album just like any other album before?
That's a difficult one. I guess it's going to be like a legacy for us, you know, because like it'll, it's obviously the last record that we done, and um, so it bears it carries a charge emotionally for that reason. Um, but I don't know. It's difficult to say. You know, like losing a close friend and a band leader and a singer and you know someone you've known for that long. It it carries all kinds of different emotions. So of course those emotions are tightly equipped or like attached to the creation of the album and the album coming out. There was actually a long period after we received the final mixes where I just I'm not don't feel strong enough to even listen to this now, you know, because of all what we were going through, because it was back and forwards with the doctors from for Tompa. So it's yeah, I'd say probably it'd be a good legacy for to remember the band by, I think.
Uh, did you guys have the artwork in the title of the record picked beforehand, or is that something that came towards the later stages?
I know that Tompa designed the artwork together with oh God, I can't remember his name now, but Tompa was very much involved in designing the artwork, and I believe he had a different title for the album before. Now I can't say exactly what that was, but when he came with the Ghost of a Future Dead, it was like, wow, pretty heavy title.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you know, and but it felt if I remember thinking that wow, that feels more at the gates than the title he had before. But yeah, yeah,
It's definitely an
but
At the
always,
Gates. It's definitely an At the Gates album title if I've ever
yeah,
seen one. But then when you
yeah,
add everything else to the picture, it makes it even more impactful. Like
yeah,
I don't think you could have came up with a better title for this record than this one. It just encapsulates everything.
yeah, yeah. It really does. Yeah, so.
It's beautiful from
I,
that standpoint.
yeah, I've yet to sit down and because I don't have the physical copies yet. I've yet to sit down and listen through the album and follow through with the lyrics. Um, we have the lyrics in Word documents, but I always, when you get the new record, I enjoy sitting down and listening and reading all the lyrics, and you know, it's a big thing.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Yeah,
I think that comes from my childhood buying a vinyl or a CD, not having a lot of money and going home, putting it on, and then just looking at everything, even the credits of who the band think and you know
yeah,
everything. Like it's
for sure.
such a part of the process of enjoying a new album.
Yeah.
Moving on to something a little bit more positive and more bright, and that is your drum
Mhm.
sound on this record. Um, if is there a specific drum sound that you need to have in order for that drum sound to be in an At the Gates record?
Oh, um, not specifically. I mean, we've had like quite a few. It took quite a few albums till we actually had a good drum sound. I mean, the first three releases, it's like the drum sound is absolutely terrible. And when you it's interesting because it's the very same drum kit that I used on Red in the Sky, Terminal Spirit Disease, and then Slaughter of the Soul. That's the same drums, the very same kit. And the two of those records are in the same studio using the same mic. So it's like very the sound that you end up with is very much. I think going back to this last record, it was Jens. He had this new kit that he wanted to use, and he's exceptionally good at tuning. So he set the sound up. We started playing. I put my cymbals on. I mean, and sounds a bit cliche, but like once I start playing along to the demos, the pre-made demos, pre-production demos that we had, it sounds like at the gates, and it probably would have had it been the sound from Red and Sky's Hours. Now that wouldn't have been a very favorable drum sound to have on any record these days, but I think that comes down to like a production thing rather than something that's like really massively important to me. I'd be more interested in the whole record sounding good together, everything playing together, rather than I need the drums to be a particular way. So, like I'd rather the whole record sounds good together, than just
Mhm.
having a killer drum sound.
Very unselfish of you. Uh,
Well, I mean, as a drummer, like I am very much a drummer that's a part of the band, like, and particularly in At the Gates, like all the parts that I write for the drums are, got the song in focus. They're not there to be like, oh, look what I can do, because
yeah, yeah.
I'm just not that kind of drummer. So, yeah,
It's more about serving the song than serving yourself.
yeah, totally, totally, and it's
Eh,
something we do together, like as a band, and yeah.
you mentioned those three records, the sound using the same drum kit. If you had to
Mm.
pick a record in the discography of the band where you feel like everything clicked, and that is the record that put At the Gates in the path that you guys were on. Is there one single album that you could pick to identify that moment?
Ooh, that's a difficult one. I think the first time that happened was probably when we done Terminal Spirit Disease. That was the first time where like I came out the studio. Wow, we could actually play the songs this time. So I'm gonna probably, mind you, when we done Slaughter of the Soul, that was a pretty special feeling as well. Um, Difficult. I'll probably say after Terminal Spirit Disease, actually. Yeah,
Did you ever?
that was. But like with all the other records, it's not the case of that. I feel more proud of any of the records. It's sort of like we carry on working till these days, since the reunion, we carry on working on the stuff till we feel like this is the best representation that we can do of these songs. And if that means like doing like 40 takes of one song, we'll do it till we oh, right, that's the one we want. So
Has the
yeah.
process become easier with the years, with the experience that you guys have, not just from studio, but even from playing live and understanding what it needs to sound like, what in order for you guys to be satisfied with it?
I guess it's become, the demand has become higher because we put higher demands on ourselves, but we are also aware of uh, more aware of what we want it to sound like. So in that aspect, and combined with the recording techniques that you have today, like it's easy to punch in, it's easy to, if you needed to move a chorus or like anything like that, because compared to the older records where it was like, I really hope that I can nail this. So like we haven't played it through once and it sounded good in rehearsals with the during the early years, you know. And then oh, don't worry, we'll put a stop in the song, and then you'd have to put like a few stabs in just to be able to have a place where they could edit and put it together. So I would say with experience and with the recording techniques, it's probably become easier with towards the later years. Yeah, but then it's possible it's to do with you're more experienced being in the studio. Each of us have done lots of records with other bands as well, so it's yeah. So
Is there a unique vibe? I mean, like you said, you've done other records with other bands. So when you go into the studio to record a new At the Gates album, how is it? Is there a vibe? Is there something in the air, something palpable in the air?
well, for me, it's like At the Gates is very close to my heart. You know, it's so yeah. Of course, it's a very special feeling. But you know, everyone in the band is like quite low. We're pretty low key people, you know, and but of course, it's I'm not gonna say like a magical vibe exactly, but like it's a really accomplished feeling, you know, like wow, we have these killer songs, like let's get them down. Though no one would say, "Oh, we have some killer songs." No one would say that in the band, but I was thinking it when we were recording it. Yeah, this is sounding killer, you know.
Was
So
this a difficult album to pick singles from, considering how like we talked earlier, how
mm.
emotionally charged the album is. Every song has its own story behind it. But with everything that went on into making the album, did it make it a little bit more difficult picking singles to introduce the fan base to what you guys had created?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the Fever Mask was always going to be the first. When we recorded that, it was like, okay, yeah, that's the first song that's going to come out. Also, Tompa wanted it to be early on in the album. I don't think it had been decided whether it was going to be the opening track or but regarding the videos, I believe that. Thomas had some ideas about which songs he wanted to be the video songs. So I believe that is the basis of the choices that we've gone with. Yeah.
You mentioned earlier in terms of the expectations you guys put on yourselves. The last time I
Mm.
saw At the Gates in Toronto, I believe you
Mm.
guys played the Danforth Music Hall. I've never
Right.
seen a lineup of people around the building to get into the venue to see you guys perform. I think it's the busiest show I've ever seen at that venue in Toronto was At the
Oh,
Gates headlining. The fans like wow, like I got there and I'm like, holy shit, I have to line up like 2 blocks away from the entrance. Like that's
well,
crazy.
yeah.
So the fan base definitely looks at the gates with a special set of eyes. You guys have a very hardcore fan base.
Mm.
Do they put any added pressure on you guys beyond the pressure that you put on yourselves when the time comes for a new album?
No, no, I wouldn't say so. I think, I mean, the initial ideas of the songs are always start with either of the twins. And Thomas, and there's like it goes between the three of them. It does a few laps before it reaches me, and by the time I get it, it's like, well, okay, it's total. There's no mistaking what band this is. So obviously, I write with Jonas in the Haunted as well, and the Haunted, I would say the Haunted style isn't as defined as At the Gates, the At the Gates sound, you know. And but as far as writing, I would say we're very much writing for ourselves. As it might sound selfish, obviously you want people to like it, but it's very much written the kind of music that that we want to hear. So.
It's really interesting that you said that because I always look at a band like At the Gates, and not only the sound of the band is very specific to the band, but obviously
Mhm.
Tompa's vocals were very specific to the band as well. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of melodic death metal and death metal bands out there, but there's only a few vocalists that the moment that they start singing, you know
Mm.
exactly who they are. Like, they have such a
Yeah.
unique definition to their voice. How much of
Yeah.
his style impact the sound of the band?
Oh man. I mean, you only have to sort of listen to covers of the band to realize that. Like once his voice is gone, I mean, like you can get pretty close with the musicians. Like, and there are some really good covers of the band. But once the vocals come in, it's like, okay, it's a cover. So straight away. uh, um, and you'd recognize Thomas' vocals in all of the bands that he was singing in, all the records he's done. Like, oh, that's Tompa singing, but like I don't know the music. That's happened quite a few times, you know. So yeah, he's definitely um, a trademark for the band sound. Does that make sense? I don't know if it
Yeah,
makes sense.
no, it does. It does.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had that experience because I heard him on a track. I can't remember who the band was, but he was featured on some band, and he came
Mm,
on the radio, and I was like, I don't know who this band is, but I know who that singer is. So
mhm.
it was very, very distinct, and I always felt like the sound that you guys created, it was almost like a chicken and egg. I'm not quite sure which one came first, his voice or the sound, but the two were just perfectly intertwined together.
Yeah. If you go back and listen to early records, um, it takes a few albums for him to sort of perfect his style. I think. I mean, it was always the higher range, sort of, so not screechy exactly, but like the higher range of this type of vocals. And I would say after we done the comeback with At War with Reality, that's when he found this. He found like a rhythm to what he was doing that I thought, well, it was instantly really very recognizable. The way that he wrote the lyrics to sit over the music rhythmically was like I don't hear many people approaching singing in death metal in that way. So
No, no.
it's definitely very very unique.
Yeah, it's definitely very unique. I'm not going to
Mm.
ask you about the future of the band because I think that's an unfair question to ask at this point in time.
Yeah.
Because I think you guys have other things on your mind, and I don't think it's a fair question. But I'm going to ask you in
Mm.
terms of the celebration of the record. Are you guys planning on doing anything around the release date?
So we haven't actually. I mean, we haven't actually spoken about that. I just don't like. I'd like to, but I just don't see how, in what shape or form that would be. But like, we're doing the first thing that we got planned is a couple of signing sessions on the day before the album release and the day of the release. We're doing two signings in Sweden, and even that is going to just be. I don't know. It's going to be like really strange, like gathering without him. And there was a friend of ours that put like a comment on Facebook saying that, oh, the void where the fifth signature is missing. It's going to be, it's just like it. Just in life in general, it's just so hard to work out how is life going to move on when someone that close to you passes away. They're just
Mhm.
not there anymore. It's just that I don't know. We haven't. I'm sure we'll have a discussion of some sort regarding this, but it's not happened yet. So
Yeah.
at the moment, we're just like happy and or happy. We're happy that the album's coming out. It's a bit of a release, and I know that Thomas was really looking forward to the album coming out. So it's some sort of I don't know. It's still so fresh, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
It almost feels a little bit like a tribute that you guys are ensuring that his memory lives on. And
yeah. Oh, for
you
sure.
know, and I had this conversation with my son when we checked out the single, because I said to him
Mm.
afterwards that so many of us humans wish that we were immortal, but what you
Mm.
guys have created with At the Gates and what he created with his voice will forever be remembered. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, he may not be here with us, but he's here in spirit, and nobody's ever going to be able to take that away from him. And so
Yeah.
he's achieved what many of us would like to one day achieve. So, that's definitely
Yeah.
something to be remembered and not to be forgotten. And I'm sure you guys will find the right way of celebrating this record. I'm really
Mm.
hyped that this album is coming out. The artwork is
Yeah.
phenomenal. The title is phenomenal. The sound is phenomenal. I really love what you guys did with the video as well. I thought that was such a
Mm.
good celebration of that track and of his memory. So I thought you guys are
Yeah. Thank you.
definitely
Thank
on
you.
the right, definitely on the right track. And
Yeah.
I applaud you guys even doing a signing section, because that it's going to be tough with the fans.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I applaud you taking the time to chat with me about it, because
No, of course.
it
Of
can't be
course.
easy to go through this. So Adrian, I really thank you for your time.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All
I'm a
right.
fan of your channel, actually, so I watch it.
Oh, oh, that's funny. That's funny. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. No
We've
worries.
covered The Haunted. We covered At the Gates. I mean, we cover so many bands. We're just metalheads
Yeah.
and
That's good.
fans of metal. And I try to use the music to help my relationship with my son, so that
Mhm.
maybe one day I won't be forgotten. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's great. That's great, man.
So that's what I try
Thank
to
you.
do. Adrian, thank you
Yeah.
very much for your time. It really means the
Cheers.
world to talk to you. Thank you so much. I wish you guys nothing but love with this new album
Oh,
and with
that's amazing.
everything
Thank you.
and everything that you guys want to do going forward. Just all the best. Nothing but love.
Thank you, man. The same back to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cheers. All right.